So we'll start with stocks. Let's see the VIX is it's still high. Has dropped off 10%, but the VIX is it's actually acting all right. We saw this big spike here, falling off. Now we're coming up again. So we'll probably see a little bit more of a fizzle in this volatility before it gets back down into this zone over here, which is where you really see the stocks start moving up. It is around that. Oh, we'll zoom in on that. I think it's around 12. Yeah, between that sort of 10 and 15, 10 and 14 level. When the VIX is down in this zone, you really start to see the stocks get a bit of a boogie on. And it had quite an extensive period down in this zone, so it was going to have this spike up, and now we're finishing off this second spike, and we might get another one in October, or towards the end of September, before it starts coming back down into this zone, and we start seeing the stocks move again. Is that you, Simon? Did I hear you? No. We might jump into one of the charts here. So this is obviously the Japan carry trade drop over here. And we got a nice V-shaped recovery out of that. And then we had a bit of a sell-off last week, and it's holding up fine. Don't have any concerns with this at all. Let me turn the magnet off. We'll see how much room we've got to the downside. Okay, virtually pulled back right to the 50% level. And then I've got this set up the wrong way as well. That's better. Virtually pulled back spot on to the 50% level, and now we're getting that bounce. That bounce today. So above here, it's actually really strong. It's still maintaining this move up. Once we start getting below this level, then we have to start thinking that these lows. So you can see the 618 lines up pretty close with these tops as well. So if it was to pull down here, we can tap this level and then spring off it. I wouldn't want to see much consolidation happening down here at the 618, because that would suggest that we are going to be coming down further to test the lows. But at the moment, things are looking fairly rosy for me. It's sitting just over 1% away from breaking below this 50% level. We'll jump into the Dixie. So as you guys know, we've broken down past the channel, and it had a pretty steep drop off, as far as forex goes. And we've got a little bit of a bounce here, so we might see a bit of consolidation outside of the channel. I don't think it's anything to be concerned of. It can pop up a little bit, maybe test the bottom of the channel at about that 102, but ultimately I think it's going to start breaking down, and fall below 100 and start testing that 99 to 100 level. And it doesn't seem like it's much, given it's at 101.5, but it actually has a pretty big impact on forex, and a secondary effect, a second flow-on effect, is into stocks and also crypto. This will probably stagnate until rate cuts are announced, and what the euro does has a big impact on this too. If the euro gets cut, the US dollar can strengthen a little bit, which I think the euro cut rate decision is coming up before the US. So that's where we might see a little bit more upside first if they do cut. and then when the US cuts, it'll come back down again. Hey, Ref. Good to see you. All right, we'll jump into some biddy. So we'll go to the 4-hour chart. So I posted up this chart yesterday, highlighting this zone and this zone over here. We've got these two 50% levels, which are within $700 of each other, and then much the same up here, two 50% levels with $700 between them. At the moment, we're bouncing and looking like putting in a lower high. We can see it's going to be a lower high because we've got all this price action here. For it not to be a lower high, we really want to get above that 59.5K level. The most important level for us in the short term is around 61.5. Getting back above there would then suggest that we're going to probably push into an uptrend again. But I don't quite think that we're done where we are. There is a significant CME gap down at around that 52.8 level. As you guys know, with CME trading, the BTC USDT charts typically trade lower than the CME charts, which is where I've come up with this 786 level at 52,350. It's sweeping this low, although this low is quite close. And I imagine that there's going to be a fair amount of liquidity below, just below this low over here. So that's where I've got the 886 at 57.50 in play. Because if there is a significant amount of liquidity that gets liquidated, it's going to drive down the price as the longs get closed out, and then a bit of a V-shaped recovery out of that, straight back up into this channel. And this channel's actually been really good. Like, we had that dip down to 52,500, but the daily closed just back in it, and then it got tested over the weekend and held it, but on both days. Another thing that is also quite important, it looks like we're going to get 3 green days in a row at the lows. So we know that when we get three green or 3 red at the extremities, it is a sign of a reversal incoming. And we saw that way back at the peak when we hit that 73, 74K with the 3 red days. And we haven't broken back past above that high ever since we got those 3 red days. And even this, similarly with the S&P, we got these 3 red days over here back in July, and I actually posted back then that I thought, well, we're gonna have a few weeks of sideways at best, but probably a bit of down movement, and that's pretty much what's happened. Since that point, we haven't broken back above the all-time high in the S&P since we got those 3 red days. And it works in the same fashion down at the lows when you get those 3 green. So we got the 3 green here, and it's pushed up. Hasn't broken back above all-time highs, but it did get quite a significant push. Got within less than 1% of the or around 1% of the all-time high. So for Bitcoin, I still think that we're going to have some downside to come unless we start getting above that 61.5K level. That's the important level. We don't have to close the gap. 90% of the time they do close, but they don't have to close. So, I like to play my probabilities, give myself a 9 out of 10 chance that it is going to come back down and close. And I'll be looking to take some longs on Bitcoin down in this zone for sure. Now, this little pocket down here is still on the table between that 44 to 46k level. It shouldn't be forgotten about. We can definitely still come down there. I think it's going to actually rely on some sort of news to get it down there, where you get extreme fear coming into the market. Crypto's going to end. Maybe it'll be a hack of some sort. It doesn't really matter what. I don't think it's going to get down there purely just based on price action. But if there is something that comes out, like a big hack or an investigation into how BlackRock and Coinbase are closed door doing their closed door deals on their on the ETF trading, there's an investigation into that could send the price driving down. It could be a range of different things, really. I need to be aware that this is still on the table. And I've got two. I'll just zoom out a bit. You're going to have to ignore the fibs for a second. But I've got two parallel channels that I'm running. So maybe on the weekly it might look better. Yep. So on the weekly we've got the one that's more horizontal. It's been widely respected. It has left wicks outside of the channel, as we can see here when it went down to 49k, but the closing candles have been inside that channel. So that's my main channel, and then I've also got this other channel coming down here, which is a lot more recent. On the daily chart, it probably looks a bit cleaner. So basically, it's these lows here at 53.5k down to 49k, anchored to the high over here. To break out of this channel, we're currently looking at around that 63.5k level. But the bottom of this channel actually lines up with those 50% levels down around 45k. So there is some confluence with these levels down here, and I wouldn't be surprised to see it go down there. Given how we're sort of bouncing out now, I'll probably give it less weight. I'll weight it with less probability, but just need to be aware of it. And if you're looking to enter the market on the next dip and start buying dips, I wouldn't be going all in. I'd be saving a little bit of dry powder in case we do get down here and you want to get a better entry. In saying that, dips are definitely 110% for buying, not financial advice. But yeah, dips are for buying as far as I'm concerned. When they're no longer worth buying is if we break down below 38.5k. If we start breaking down that level and getting closes below it, I'm going to be selling my entire bag, whether it's at a loss or not. It doesn't phase me. That's my invalidation. We can't get closes below that point. We always need to have invalidation because otherwise, if it is all over at 74k and that's the high, and Bitcoin retraces 85%, well, that's looking at like a 13, 14k Bitcoin. Alts are going to get absolutely smashed from where they are at the moment, and it's not worth holding. But that's worst case scenario. Let's see if there's any comments or questions. Yeah, nears to $4. Well, I don't think it'll quite get to $5 just yet, but hopefully soon. Yeah, I've seen a lot of the news that came out in the last bear market. It's a hack every other week, or the lunar collapse, exchanges going bankrupt. it doesn't matter what the news is. There's always something that's going to come out that's going to shake things up. Um, my game plan is just to have those levels identified where the price is going to potentially find a heap of support. With that, we might jump in and have a look at Nia because it has had a nice little run. Something that's really great for Nia is that we've held this low. I know Bitcoin hasn't put in a lower low, but you certainly don't want your alts putting in a lower low when Bitcoin's putting in higher lows. So to see that it's held up pretty well, it was what's that? Just over 10%. 10% gap from the lower low to this high low, and now we're getting a bit of a bounce out. You could say the 786 was holding as support here. We didn't get a daily close below it. And we're starting to come into a bit of resistance. We've got this trading range over here that's going to be acting as a bit of resistance at the moment. We've also got this 50% level at around that $4.20. This box that I've got there was a bit of a target zone to pull back into when we were up at these peaks. That I wanted to see flip to support, but it just kept slicing straight through it. So we could come into this and find some resistance. I wonder where the 50% level is going to the upside. Yeah, so this is going to be our resistance zone. Here between that $4.20 and $4.35, which pretty much lines up with where I've got that box. I don't think we're going to get through here straight away. And with my analysis of Bitcoin coming, I think it's going to have a pullback. That you'd expect the alts to have a bit of a pullback as well. This could come back down to that 380, 370 mark, perhaps. I wonder if on the 1 hour we can get a bit more of a clearer picture. So we've got a bit of trading here at 390. I think that's a bit too close to find 390 as support. Yeah, about that 375 I think would be a reasonable area to look for Nia to find some support. We wouldn't want to see the low broken. We want to see this maintained, and that would just if Bitcoin comes down and sweeps its high low at 52.5K, but you have alts that hold up and don't fall as far as when Bitcoin hit that 52.5K, they're the alts you want to be in. They're showing strength and they're gaining against BTC. So this is actually looking all right here. We've got the low, and then we're putting in a higher low. We're taking off. This is against Bitcoin. Rejected off the 50%, which we expected was going to happen. It did pull back a little bit further than what I had hoped, but it has held this low, which is nice. And we also have held this low over here. So we're putting in consistent higher lows. Although it's been a while since we've been up here at the tops, building this foundation is important, and not breaking below it and putting in lower lows. I know on this, when you sort of look at it from this perspective, it looks like it's been putting in lower lows, which it has, but sometimes you just need to zoom out a bit and say, right, this is a key low, because it's pulled back after making a high. Then now we've made highs, and now we're having a more lengthy pullback, and we're looking to find a low. So what we're going to be looking for here is for Nia to take out this high. and then that will confirm, once it takes out this high, that'll confirm this as a higher low against here, and it just gives you a bit more probability that NIA is going to maintain its strength and continue on its trajectory of turning into an uptrend against Bitcoin. Which, if we go back and look at this time last year, where are we? Around September, thereabouts. We were just going on a downward trajectory through into October. That was around about the time. This is the period of when NIA actually bottomed out last year before it started taking off. And then, once it did hit its low in October, it was just all over. It was going straight up. So, we're nearly 12 months out from this point, which for guys that do like time analysis, they'd be looking at that and potentially front running. It's a bit like Sweat is a little bit similar, although it has had a bit of a sell off. It's really struggling with the low from last year against Bitcoin. Every time it gets close, it gets a decent sell off. But what we're going to be looking for here for Sweat is to be holding these lows. That's probably the most important at the moment. The second most important. Would really don't want to be breaking below these lows over here. But the first warning sign that they're in danger is breaking this low. So we want to start seeing a bit more strength come into Sweat, and it really attacking this level and then finally claiming it. As long as each time it gets attacked, the drops get smaller, or the pushbacks, the pullbacks get smaller, that's okay. If the pullbacks are getting larger, that's when it's not okay. We don't want to see that. But it is showing a little bit of hope. We can't write it off just yet against Bitcoin. Yeah, we'll see what's going on. How high do you think this short pump going to go for Bitcoin? For Bitcoin, I've got the. Have you checked out the my charts channel, Ref? Because I posted in there some analysis that I didn't want you guys to miss out on. I'd highlighted these two zones. They're my sort of target zones where I don't think we're going to see Bitcoin push past. The important one, if it was to, hypothetically, if it was to get past these two levels, 61.5K is the next key level. And it's important to know that we don't know what's happening on the right side of the screen. We're just what I'm doing is highlighting where the key levels in my mind when I read the charts, where I see those key levels to be, where your risk to reward of taking a short is worthwhile, at least for how I would take a trade. It doesn't mean this is definitely 100% going to be resistance, but it means that there's a high probability that I think that there is going to be resistance here. So I would be willing to take a short with invalidation, on the market sort of turning back down at that point. So yeah, for me, and look, it's about to take out 57K at the moment, and it's closing in on the 4 hour. So I think this level here is done. I'd be, got 20 minutes left in this 4 hour candle, and it's extremely bullish as well, increasing volume. So I'll probably be putting a line through this holding as resistance, Next target is going to be up here around that 58.5 to 59.5K level. And with how it's starting to move, like we can see the candles are getting bigger. It could probably get there within the next sort of 24 hours, I think. And I just want to jump into Binance, and we can just check some volumes. Volume is also important as well. So there's been a lot of sustained volume on this run up. 46, 62. This is just on the 15-minute chart. It's not huge volume, but it's significant and it's sustained, which is good to see. And then we had a little bit of a pause, a little bit of sideways through this period, and now we're starting to take off again, and the volume is starting to increase again. 20, 25. We're up to 27 mil on this one with 2 minutes left on the candle to close. But you can start to see a little bit of resistance coming in because whilst it's got more volume than the prior candle, the body of the candle is actually a shitload smaller. So the sellers are starting to step in a little bit, but I reckon they're going to get overcome unless there's a decent reversal in the next sort of 15 minutes. By decent reversal, it's going to want to probably get back below that 56, 250. So the Bears have got about 15 minutes to get back below that level. Otherwise, we're going up here. Yeah, that's right. That's how I try to trade. It's just about the risk and reward. I'd much prefer doing swing trades at key levels where you might get stopped out 6, 7 times out of 10, but the ones that come off, they pay their dividends tenfold. And they're not a scalp trade where you're just watching it for an hour and getting in, getting out. You can hold them for days, weeks, months, sometimes. Yeah, they're the good ones. You just got to not get caught up putting too much capital into them, because if you do get stopped, it can really eat away at your capital. Yeah, we'll have a look at Sol. So Solana's it's having a little bit of a struggle. I mean, on the grand scheme of things, it's actually playing very similar to Bitcoin. I might go to the daily actually, where Bitcoin hit its 53.5K low back in July, and then it's a 49K low, and then 52.5K low, and the proportion of the move down for Solana is extremely similar to that of Bitcoin. This low here is slightly lower than this one, which is fairly in line with Bitcoin, and this one's significantly lower. But it is struggling a little bit to come out of the lows here. Actually, we might have a look on the Solana BTC chart. Might be a bit better. It's still holding up all right, I think. It is showing a little bit of weakness, but it's still holding its structure. It's still held this low. It's still holding this low. The general movement is in the upper direction. Hasn't fallen out of this channel that I've got it in, which I've got no idea when I drew it. But it's still maintaining the structure of this channel, which is good. So I think Solana is still okay as far as I'm concerned. We'll check out what levels we want to see it overcome. So 141 is the first level that we want to see what it does. And then we're going to have those tops here at around that 160. That 160 has been a very pivotal level. Saw it back over here where it got rejected as well a couple of times. It's been support in this little trading range here, just a little bit above 161. Was found support here when it made its cycle high. So yeah, short term 141 is the key level for Solana. Maintaining and holding these lows. It's the same story for all the alts really. You don't want to see the prior lows taken out. If they do get taken out, then it's starting to show some weakness. Always refer to the Bitcoin chart as well and see what they're doing there. One I did want to have a look at, which I don't normally, is TON, because I actually do have a position in TON that's going pretty good. So this one has broken down a bit. It did lose this low. It has lost that low over here, but it has had a massive run up throughout the time that BTC's been correcting realistically. So Bitcoin hit its high back here, and TON was trading over here. So whilst Bitcoin's been correcting, we've seen TON for the next three plus months continue up, make a new all-time high, and now it's having a correction. There was a bit of news about the CEO or whoever it was got taken in cuffs in France, and that's what sort of ensued this further sell-off. But now we're starting to see a bit more life come into it, and it was after sweeping this low over here at $4.50 or $4.60. What's good is that we didn't get a daily close below the level. Whilst it did wick down, the daily closes were above. It's found support, and now it's having a pretty decent bounce off it. I have got a 50% level here that I think it's going to get rejected at because it has had some pretty decent moves. So I do think it does need to come back down, maybe to that $4.80, $4.90 level. Test some of these tops, see if they flip to support before it continues up. So I'm actually gonna have my TON sitting in a liquidity pool on it's a 7x liquidity pool. So I'll probably pull out my liquidity and realize some profits when it gets to this 50% level, and then look to re-enter on a pullback. Doesn't look right to me. This one looks better. Although this isn't quite a full chart at all. It's only got till August, which is annoying. Anyway, getting back above these highs here against Bitcoin is what we want to see for TON. It's hard to really. I'll go back into the other chart, even though it's got that dirty wick that doesn't look right. So it's the same sort of deals. It did sweep these lows, but didn't close below it, and now it's moving up. This wick here is bullshit. It doesn't make any sense. We haven't seen a significant pump on TON, like an abnormal candle in comparison to Bitcoin to form that wick. So it hasn't gone that high. Maybe on Bitfinex it has, but certainly not anywhere else. But yeah, getting back above these highs is crucial. It has gotten above the 50% level. You can see it's from this high down to the low. 50% sits here. It was getting rejected early on, and now we've claimed it. So moving on up is the aim of the game. there any other charts that you guys wanted me to take a squiz at? As in against Euro or? Yeah, no worries. It'd be. I don't know if you were here for when I was looking at the Dixie chart, but it will be an inverse chart essentially. So we've got the Euro. Piss off. We've got the Euro breaking out from its channel and moving up. We go to the Dixie. It's broken out of its channel to the downside and moving down. I'm quite bullish on the Euro. I think it's going to continue its uptrend. I would like to see it maintain this 50% level on the daily. It's more important on the weekly because I've got this marked out on over a large time period. Like that 50% level is from 2018 high until 2022 low. It's 2017 in its downtrend. Before it's now sort of flipping up and it's breaking up again. So we want to see the month close out above this level again and hold it. So we did get the close just above. Want to see going to be moving up for time to come. There is a golden pocket here. I think it's at around $1.14. I'll chuck it on 618. Yeah. So that is my target zone before we start getting a bit more of a pullback and a correction. Is around that $1.14 mark. So, but it takes so much time for Forex to move. But yeah, overall bullish, looking good. This is probably one of my cleanest charts that I've got going. I've got a 50% level and a parallel channel. There's a little trend line there, but it doesn't really matter now since we've broken out. I'm ultra bullish on this. So how does a USDT dominance chart correlate to BTC? To be honest, I don't really use the USDT dominance chart that much. Sitting at 6%. I'd say it's the market cap of USDT versus the total crypto market cap. So that's at 6%. So the total market cap of USDT must be around 120 billion, give or take. We'll just have a quick look. Yeah. So USDT 118 billion. Does crypto go up if USDT dominance go down? No worries, Hunter. Good to see you, mate. I'll catch you later. So the idea is that if the USDT dominance is going down, it means money's leaving USDT and presumably moving into Bitcoin and altcoins. It could also be getting exchanged for fiat as well. So that's something to be aware of too. And then you don't get the reason why I don't really use USDT dominance is because you don't USDT isn't the only way to buy crypto. Um, you can buy crypto directly with fiat. You could buy it with the USDC, a range of other stables that are actually coming out in different currencies now. Like I think there's a Euro stable too. Um, yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with using it, but yeah, how many tools have you got in your tool belt? I prefer to watch the Dixie and see what's going on with the Dixie personally. I suppose that's probably because I'm large. My bigger investments are more so in stocks that are impacted by the US dollar. So, uh, oh, is there any other questions for anyone? Actually, do you guys want me to show you the exchange that looks to be coming on board? I'm just trying to sort out some deals, like sign up deals and stuff for you guys. But besides that, it looks like it's going to happen. Uh, I'm still, I'm no, not fully recovered, mate. Can't sleep. Still nasally. I don't know. I feel like I'm licking door handles at my daughter's childcare centre. I just can't get over it. Yeah, it gets at the start. I'm all right, but once I start talking for more than sort of 20 minutes or so, it really starts kicking in. Uh, um, so this is basically the exchange. I'm not really a biggest fan of the app on the phone, but look, it's all right. I actually got an open order sitting here at 52,350. Um, Basically, to make a position, you just hit long or short, and you can change a limit how you want that to work out. Set your stop loss. It gets a bit shit when you're trying to take profit. It's a bit of a. It's not shit. It's just a little bit of mucking around if you're doing it through the app. Have I got a bonus? No bonuses. Yeah, yeah. If you guys are looking to trade on it, um, and it gets to that point, I'll do some trades using my account and show you guys how to take them. Oh, geez, that's actually quite a bullish close for Bitcoin on the 4 hour. It closed above 57. Interesting. Um, these are all the different tokens they've got. I mean, I wouldn't be trading any of these on here. Just they don't have enough volume for me to be trading them. A lot of this is going to be market maker volume. I'll be sticking to the top three, maybe, probably even just the top two, Bitcoin and F. You might want to touch Solana, AVAX. That's not enough volume for me to want to be trading futures on it. But they do have their benefits. Their fees aren't too bad. I think it's fairly similar to like Bing X, and I think it's pretty similar to Bybit as well. Yeah, so 2.05. Actually, the taker fee's not. I think that's better than Bybit and Bing X. Um, that's how the portfolio looks. I've got $100 in there. There's no spot trading. They don't have spot. It's purely just futures. So the people that are running this, and they've got that backed up with a reserve of 105%, which they publish. That's something that's quite important for me. I don't want to be going onto exchanges where they don't publish their reserves, and you could be essentially paper trading or trading with fake money, a bit like what happened to FTX. So they have these sign up offers, but these are just the generic ones. I'm hoping to get something a bit better for you guys. Does it have sweat? No, it doesn't. No, no. For sweat, um, Big X or MEXC, Bybit, they're your three. For futures, I'll have a look. Yeah, it's got near. Um, the leverage that it offers is pretty standard as well. What's going on? Oh, is it because I already got an order there? So leverage goes up to 125 on Bitcoin. I haven't checked out what some of the alts can do. Oh, Jesus, 125 on the year. It's pretty big. I've got a tidy little bag in here as well. It's probably bigger than what it should be. Nowhere near what you've got, Baldrick. Um, yeah, my stash is getting up there too now. I've probably got one more buy left in me, I reckon, for now. If we have another drop, that'll be my last buy. Famous last words. Oh, you got there. Congrats, brother. Oh, oh. I think last time I spoke to you, you're around 9,000 or something, just shy of 10K. Okay, nice one. That's conviction right there. Actually, yeah. Oh, next week, um, I'll I want to talk about the cycle and the length of the cycle, because I think I've got a bit more of a clear picture on where things are where I think things are going as far as this bull cycle. So we'll have a bit of a chat about that at next week's catch up. But I reckon for today, guys, my nose isn't going to let me do much more talking. I'm going to sound like a bloody. Yeah, no worries, Baldrick. It'll probably be a similar time to today's next week. So, all right, take it easy, guys, and thanks for joining in. If you guys are joining the Sweat Hangout, yeah, no drama. Look, it's going to be a more basic version of what we've gone over in today's premium chat, unless there's some more stuff that sort of comes up between now and then. So yeah, I wouldn't be too stressed if you can't make it. All right, see you guys. Take care. Bye.